Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock. We're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in all space.
Funny story how I became a doctor. I went to the store and I lied and said I wasn't a doctor. Do I get a discount? People called me and said, "Would you like to be an ambassador for Texas?" And I said, "Yes." I get your submit. Casual shows for faster, stronger, and longer lasting. How all that is changed because casual punches.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very laid back Sunday overnight live stream. Just when I thought I got to the point of year where I could be happy, we still got several 100-degree days this week. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Not winter, but fall has begun. Autumn is here. Summer ended yesterday, but yet this weekend's 100 degrees, which is fine. I got an outside event that it should be 75 degrees for, but I said goodbye to the heat. I let it go, and I was ready to move into the dead leaf season, and here we are. Don't know where Brad is. Brad might be taking a nap. Let's see who's out there. No, looks like he'll be here sometime soon. All right. There he goes. Check your mic. Or
hear me?
Yeah, keep talking.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, but it sounds like you're distant.
Oh.
Is there like a different setting, like a echo?
No.
Because I noticed that's happened a couple of times when you got on.
You hear me now?
Yeah, that's your normal. Okay, cool. And maybe it's just when it might be even StreamYard. StreamYard might interpret your sound. So, well, it's Sunday night live stream. Like I said, I have no topics. When you do as many streams as we've done, we pretty much taken care of everything.
Which means we're going to talk about the raid.
We've already done that, though. We talked about the raid. We've shown both raid movies, so it's not like we've neglected the raid.
Okay, then we're going to talk about Gonapath.
Okay, I don't feel like talking about venereal diseases on our show. You're gonna get us.
It's an awesome Bollywood martial arts lick. Okay, then we're gonna talk about the Batman and Deathstroke image that Jay Oliva just dropped.
We did that. Like I said, it's not like we neglected these things. We did that.
But there's still things that are fun to talk
about.
Really
nothing. There's nothing to add to that, though. I mean, really, did he? I follow him. I didn't see anything else.
He just said, "Hey, happy Batman Day. Here it is." And I've talked about the raid and Gonapath ad nauseum. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop, but it's like it's not like news really tends to drop on Sundays anyway. So it's kind of like this tends to be like the kind of the week sort of recap or wrap around or what have you. As far as the news or discussion, whatever we had this week. I mean, obviously the big one. Or at least certainly on Sci-Fi Center for us definitely was Twilight of the Gods, was the watch party for that, and the release of that seems to be pretty well received overall.
Yeah, it's not getting hammered like everything else did. If you notice that, I mean,
Yeah.
I took a peek at some of the reviews. You had your usual shitheads that are just anything Zack Snyder does, it's going to be, and then you have people on the other side, anything he does is going to be great no matter what. But for the most part, I haven't heard the vitriol that I'm used to. This is a really, and to be fair and to be honest, I think when he has other people writing the stuff and he's just directing it, I think that's clear with most directors. But I think it's when it's a more structured screenwriter, it tends to be his best stuff. But Twilight of the Gods was I thought it was his best non DC stuff since and then Rebel Moon. I'm going to include Rebel Moon in that number.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna need to sleep on it a little longer. Like as far as like ranking his Netflix stuff, I probably would rank this. I might rank this because if you asked me before yesterday, I probably would have said Army of the Dead was my favorite. And this is pretty close to neck and neck for me as far as like my favorite of his Netflix projects because I really liked Army of the Dead a lot. Rebel Moon, I mean, a little bit more complicated because had multiple versions of them released, and as is very common in Zach's body of work, the extended cut, that tends to be like everybody agrees. Yep, that's the movie.
We didn't have that here. We got.
Yeah,
I feel like we got everything you wanted to put out.
Yeah, so. Well, it's a show, so it's like you don't really. I mean, you don't need to do like an extended cut of a series. So we get.
But if you wanted to do it, you could. I'm just glad that they did. Yeah. I would say this would be number one for me. Army of the Dead would be right after that, and then we go with the uncut versions of Rebel Moon.
Yeah, probably close to what I would rate it. I had a question here specifically for me. When is the Raid 3 happening?
We talked about that already.
Yeah. Cliff Notes, Gareth Evans, planned a trilogy, made the first two, moved back home to the UK, and said, in hindsight, I'm kind of happy with where 2 wrapped up. So he's like, never say never, but it's not really on his docket at this point. So doesn't mean it might it's never ever going to happen. But it's, and that's kind of the deal that I would differentiate that as far as like this is not a franchise that feels like it was cut off at the knees because it and we did watch parties of those. If you watch the Raid 2, it does feel like that's something that that had a bow put on it. It doesn't feel like there's like loose ends or like stuff that was teased or anything was mishandled. It's like no, it's like if the Raid 3 would be great to see, but if we never do, it doesn't feel like I'm left holding the bag with it.
Oh, by the way, we've been doing a lot of charity stuff. I forgot if you want to support this channel itself, you can always hit the super chat button. You can always get a membership. I'm working on trying to make time to do something exclusively for each level of support we're getting because we know we have the members. And I know Junkie. I got to go with Junkie. He does member streams. I got to see how you set that up. So we just do member streams, just then it won't be like forever. Like, there'll be like 15, 20 minutes or something. And we'll be able to, we'll be talking about things that we wouldn't be, necessarily put in necessarily in the show, but things that, Q&A. But I think we have a lot of access as it is. But but if you are members, I really like to treat you like members. Patrons, I think we take care of already. They're usually, that link is the one you use for the to be on the actual panel doing these type of things. So, what was I gonna say?
Now we just got a super chat from Fourth William. Can we play the video I sent to your Instagram?
Yeah, I was gonna wait until that particular person was here because I thought like it's she.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, hold on. Let me see. Is she here? Usually she talks right and she says hi.
Okay, is it Rhea?
No.
Okay.
No, it's Ruth,
okay. Oh, Ruth. Okay. Oh,
there she is. There she is.
Yeah. Just want just want to say the biggest thank you to my amazing friend Fourth for getting a video and sign autograph. Oh, okay. So that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and take that off real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and.
Yes, I know Ruth is counting. In fact, let me look that up when that's coming out because I know Ruth is counting down the minutes to that bloodbath.
Oh my goodness, Ruth, you have fun with all this, okay?
Yeah, I think I'm going to see it when it drops. But man, it's like I got to, like I said, not squeamish, but that's the rare case where I have to brace myself because it is terrifying. I mean, Art the Clown is just on a whole other level of just, man.
All right, can you see it?
October 11th. Yeah. Oh, okay, here it is. Yep. What's up?
Hey, Ruth.
Damn it! I hate this fucking StreamYard. Consolidate this shit. Come on, guys. Damn, hold on. Let me fix this because I can't hear it. There you go.
Hey Ruthie, how you doing? It's me, Trod the Clown. Hope you're doing well, and I can't wait for you to see Terrifier 3. It's gonna be crazy, just like me.
Trod the Clown. We have officially our man. I'm telling you, we gotta trademark this. We gotta we trademark this. So
Trademarking a misspelled word.
Yeah, we can make it a fortune off of this by this time next year.
Oh, I mean, I had shirts when we were using Streamlabs. Who knows? There you go, Ruth. There you go. I just wanted to make sure.
Really, come on. It's like we have gotten Art the Clown to use the term "tra." Come on, man.
Where were you at? Where was this at? Fourth? I guess it would have been.
Yes, this is a con or something.
Oh, Hans Zimmer did the score for Twilight ago? I did not know that. I did not.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's still he and Junkie still work with Zach a lot. Obviously, we're still waiting to hear that news about season 2. So I think it's again between the reception seems to be pretty good, and between that and how it ends, again you could tell the way it ends. They made it with the.
Don't be so sure because there are great things that Netflix puts out. And we don't get additional seasons. So I agree with you in one sense, but I still think it's a federal crime that I haven't gotten Mindhunter season 3, and that's the best shit Netflix has done. Bar just, and I need to they find money for shit that I don't ever need to see and will never hear about. Scrape some dollars together and get the Mindhunter crew back together. And like I said, I wouldn't mind a season 2 of this too, but. Just something being good and worthy of an additional season doesn't necessarily mean. I've learned that the hard way with Netflix. That's why when people say, well, my show got canceled after 4 or 5 seasons, I'm like, Netflix is barely giving out 3 seasons to some of its best stuff. You 5 if you're a top tier. Like Stranger Things is some of the best watched stuff that they have, and they're cutting that off at 5 seasons. So, I would hope we get it, but like I said, Netflix is kind of squirrely. I just researched Penguin. I really like it.
Yeah, that's the other, as far as like new release stuff this week. It was basically Penguin and Twilight of the Gods were the big new releases. And yeah, Penguin also, we did the watch party the first episode. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, looking forward to it's going to be a little bit of a gap now for the second episode because they drop on, other than the pilot, they drop on Sundays. So then from the second one on, they'll be dropping on the 29th every Sunday. So got a little bit to wait on that. But I did really like how it kicked off.
Rational, this is where I'm going to part ways with you because Batman to me is a grounded character. That is Batman. And there's a reason why. I mean, he can. If you read Batman's books, Batman proper, Batman is grounded. When you read Batman when he's guest starring in other people's books, or when he's the Outsiders, or when he's in Justice League, that's different. But when he's solo on his own, he's grounded. I mean, if you pick up an issue. Whether it's a regular standalone or Batman or the comic version and what Matt Reeves does is probably the most accurate to each other than anything ever out there. So Batman in itself is a grounded character. He's not a fantastical character. There are times when he's in those storylines. Like obviously, if he's in Justice League, he's going to be fighting things that he would not be fighting in Gotham all by itself. But for the bulk of Batman stories, he's grounded. So what Matt Reeves gives you is, like I said, it's just how you do it. Like I said last night, I think Matt Reeves accomplishes what Nolan set out to do. But if you look at the first, if you look at Batman, like Batman 89, that's more fantastical. But you'd also had that was the first, non-Adam West feature-length film, and it was 1989. So I think the grounded Batman is Batman. So if you're gonna tell a Batman story, what are you gonna have him do? Run into the pier with the bomb? I don't know. It's gonna be
did I tell you about that story when I was at a con with my cousin back in it was a long time ago now. It was 2012. He was up in Ohio, and that was actually right when he and his friends were wrapping up high school. I just graduated from college at the time, or my first degree. I went and got a post back later, but so I really finished up college in 2015. But a little tangent there.
Thanks
but
for bragging.
but so I was up there with him, and we were just we were sitting in the hallways, kind of between going to panels or going to the dealer's room, and there's this one cosplayer there as Batman running around the halls, carrying the bomb, like like Adam West, and he was like doing that like all 3 days there. I mean, he just would periodically he just sprint through the hall with that bomb and like he was a funny guy.
Well, look at the characters that are in the Penguin. Those are characters from the comic. Falcone family, those are characters that are in the comics. Sophia Falcone, she's in the comics. So the story's already grounded, and you would have to unground it if you were going to make something different. That's just me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we talk about Batman being my sort of way I sort of delineate, kind of like similar to William does, is delineate is Batman himself and his environment are grounded. He doesn't, Batman does not deal with the fantastical or the sci-fi oriented, the metaphysical, basically, unless he's with the Justice League.
Yeah,
it's like that's when he's fighting aliens. That's when he's fighting metahumans. That's when he's trying to save the planet. And when he's working on his own in Gotham City, then he's fighting crime bosses. He's fighting street level threats and things of that nature.
By the way, most of Batman's villains are not costume villains. Most of what Batman goes up against, I think people realize because of the movies. People think because of the movies, that's the only villains he has. Yeah, there's a Joker. Yeah, there's a Penguin. Yeah, there's a Catwoman. But for the most part, he's going up against situations that are just outright crime. So Batman itself, even in the early days, going all the way back to 1939, his majority of his villains are just outright criminals, mafia, corruption, things like that. And then every now and then it'll all lead back to like a Joker or Two-Face or something. But for the most part, 75% of his interactions with criminals are just standard, human level, non-costume criminals. Even if you get down to the Court of Owls, which is basically, they're probably somewhere in the middle. But I'm going to explore that story one day. I didn't feel like doing it the other night because
who I really love to see Batman fight? I'd love to see him fight. I'd love to see him fight Deathstroke. Yes, I'm making an in joke there, in case anybody couldn't tell.
I mean, I always considered him a Titan villain, but he fights.
Well, he's kind of like he's evolved. So he's
everybody's a villain eventually, but
exactly. Well, everybody crosses paths with him, and in DC, one point or another, he's most closely associated with the Titans. But I mean, canonically, he has fought Batman, he has fought Green Arrow, he has fought Superman, he has fought so many real. He's one of those villains where it's like because he's a mercenary, he's less, I guess, for lack of a better term, territorial with his heroes.
Yeah, Ryan, like I said, one of the things that Titans got right. I know it was a mess of a show, but it was fun and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Esau Morales' portrayal of Deathstroke was fucking chilling.
He was.
Oh, wow.
And this will annoy William. I did really enjoy Manu Bennett's Deathstroke. That's why Arrow season 2. That's my favorite of that show, because that had Deathstroke. That whole they had a great build up. It had like the whole Deathstroke army at the end. So that was
the last season. Arrow actually had a budget once they realized it.
Well, it was also last season before it became the Arrowverse, where it was just Arrow by itself.
Because they took that same little $8 and cut it up these other shows. But I thought Esau Morales' Deathstroke was great. But like I said, nobody has explored of him on the level.
I kept saying you almost said Daredevil.
Yeah, he's a sleazy motherfucker, dude. He's like I said, sleeping with a minor, and she's clearly a teenager. She's clearly underage, and he's clearly overage, and he's banging her just to get under the Titan skin.
And Anthony, to answer your question, no, not even close.
Nah, Deadpool was a play on Deathstroke.
Yeah. Well, and you can see that. I mean, his name, Deadpool to Deathstroke, and then his real name, Wade Wilson from Slade Wilson, and they were,
They're open about it.
Yeah, so there was no effort to hide that Deadpool is a parody of Deathstroke. So.
And the people who made Death Marvel, all those guys, they took it in stride. They're like, thanks.
Yeah, yes. Well, I mean, look at their costumes, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Just
the difference is
Thanos in a Dark Side.
Well, I mean, DC, Marvel, comics, they've been ripping each other off since they both started, and I mean, the big difference is that he has two eyes. Deadpool. Arrow had him mostly. I remember people talking about this too. It's like there was like this one meme, like every time the next season of Arrow was starting, it said this season Oliver Queen is going to fight Batman villains, because they had Deathstroke, they had they had Ra's al Ghul, they had the League of Assassins, they had Talia. Who else?
That was a horrible Ra's al Ghul, by the way.
Who else did they have on there? It was Batman. I need to look it up again. Who else? Yes, it is getting worse and worse. So it's getting good. Yeah. As William said, it's in this country, really, most of the world is like, thankfully, you get it. You when you're arrested, you're accused of a crime. Everybody has a day in court. Everybody has the right to a trial. Everybody has the right to be innocent until proven guilty. But as William said, if even a fraction of the stuff he's accused of, he's convicted of, that's game, set, match.
And he seems to know it, because they, like I said, if they put him on bail, you're never going to see him again. You're never going to. He has the money. He could buy an island somewhere with a non-extradition treaty and he just live there. He has so much money that they're afraid that he has the means to disappear forever, or go to a place where he could just basically hang out. He could go to Dubai or someplace without it, just hang out. So yeah, it doesn't look good for Diddy, but once again, hey man, you know what? You Fourth Amendment, you get your day in court, homie. I mean, you're going to be.
I mean, we usually don't get into this kind of thing on here, but like, what kind of odds would you give him? Because they're damn not looking good.
I think he has about a good 15 to 20% chance of acquittal.
Really, that high?
Well, here's the thing, though. It's I don't know the evidence. This is why I always stay away from it, because
that's true,
I said, I don't know the evidence. And he's got the racketeering thing is the big one, because like I said, in order to have racketeering, you have to prove that the person that you're charging
conspiracy,
was the head of the conspiracy. And the main way you find that out is somebody flipped because you got them on something, and you can put them in jail for a really long time. And they're like, but if you you flip, we'll lessen your sentence or we'll give you immunity. So the fact that the feds generally don't charge you, usually when the feds charge you, they get you. The U.S. Attorney's Office, those guys, it's not like your local, OJ thing, or no, they don't generally bring cases that they don't think they could win. So the fact that they bought this case and that it spans a good length of time, it's not looking good. Anybody, that's just not for Diddy. Anybody who's been charged with a federal crime, even John Gotti back in the day, he would get acquitted, but he was tampering with the jury. And what they did is they switched it up on him. They impaneled a brand new jury that he didn't have any contact with, and then they told his lawyer had a conflict with it, Bruce Cutler. They got rid of him, so they got him. Like I said, the U.S. Attorney's Office. You look at the stuff that we were watching with the mob and everything else. The way it used to be in the day. There's a reason why it's not what it was. Is because the feds basically, they went after people. They got them on these conspiracies and said, we're going to put you in jail for 50 years. Oh, by the way, you're 50 now. So we're basically giving you a life sentence. And those guys are like, why? Everybody else is flipping. Why? I might as well just go into a witness protection program. But when it comes to racketeering, from everything I've ever seen in any of these cases like this, somebody has provided substantial evidence that the guy that they're aiming at is the guy. But like I said, jury of your peers, I can't tell you what a jury is going to say once they see the evidence. I can't tell you what a jury is going to say once his lawyers, who are going to be some of the best lawyers in the world, can come in and refute that case and refute that evidence.
They damn sure better be some of the best lawyers.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got, he's nearly a billionaire, so he has the means to get himself the best defense. So he gets his day in court.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's. like I said, it's like this is why we don't dwell on celebrities.
We're not legal experts. Not only
exactly.
are we not legal experts, nobody is an expert of what a jury is going to do once they see the evidence and interpret evidence. The jury is going to see evidence that we will never see.
That's true. Yeah.
So if they acquit him, and if it's on the up and up, it's gonna be because they see something that we're never going to see. They're going to have transcripts.
Mhm.
They're going to have evidence, and then the defense is going to be able to provide their case, and motions that we'll never see because due to his Fourth Amendment right, he has a right to a fair and speedy trial. So, like I said, good luck, Diddy.
Well, it's kind of like the other thing William says too about when you talk about like celebrities when they get into controversies, whether it's of the legal variety or just they, just stepped in hot water because they said or did something that was ruffling some feathers. It's another point William makes too that's definitely very valid is that the audience, fan, consumer, whatever term you want to go with, the relationship with the artist or the producer or what have you, that that begins and ends with what they're putting out. You don't need to your morality or or your how you feel about yourself as a person should not be defined by whether or not you're a fan of the output of somebody who is is accused of something, whether it's some heinous crime like racketeering or it's just they just have the wrong political opinion or this that or whatever, and that's something we really try to emphasize on here. It's why when people again they're on here I've said there are people who I know of that have they're either vote very differently than I would. It's like I'm not going to crucify them on the show or in person on that. It's like
I crucify him in person. I'll give it.
Well, you talk about that like with family members and friends, and it's like I'm kind of I'm a little bit live and let live on that.
I'm like, you're a domino effect. What you do is going to cause me some problems. We got to talk.
Yeah.
Pass a fucking turkey. No.
Oh, this Thanksgiving, I imagine that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. It's good that the table's long enough so that you just can't. You're less hesitant to reach across the table and smack the shit out of somebody. But hey.
But then when it comes to like people getting into legal trouble, I don't know. It's like what's it's such I think I brought this up on the show before. What is the I mean, you've talked about like Michael Jackson, like he could possibly sell out stadiums now, and it's like nobody should feel dirty about that they still enjoy his music, and even that was like even that's still kind of murky about whether or not what side of whether he was guilty or not people fall on. But I think I've asked before. It's like what's the one thing you think nobody as far as a crime or a controversy that doesn't matter that somebody could never amount to come back from. And I think we both agreed that the only thing I think like we personally would like draw a line with would be like child abuse, like child sexual abuse.
For me, it's been putting your hands on a woman in a violent. Like Diddy, I was already done with Diddy when I saw the video.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are too based on that.
Close fisting his woman and kicking her like some kind of animal, like some not even an animal. You don't even do that to an animal. If you put your feet on somebody, it's the ultimate sign of just disrespect. You're treating that person like trash. And you're PD, you just walk away, dude. I'm sorry, but unless someone's coming at you and your life is in danger, and she's got a weapon or she's big. Like if she's like, I know some women that are like, 6 foot tall, 185 pounds. If you don't defend yourself, you're going to end up injured. But if it's an average size woman, average size for a woman, usually it's about 5'4" to 5'6". 125, 30 pounds, just really not within anything within remote in that range, and you're a guy say my size, your size. If we go maximum, unless that person knows like martial arts, something like that, which is not the majority of women. If I go full tilt crazy and she goes full tilt crazy, who do you think is going to make it out of that alive? Who do you think has the burden of the decision making to walk away? Maybe it's a 250-pound guy that could probably kill someone that size. Why don't you just, when she screams, she's throwing something at me, turn your ass around, get out the house, create some space between you and her, go out to the pub, go out walking, do whatever you got to do to not escalate the situation to where because like I said, her hitting you, it's going to suck. It's going to sting, it's going to hurt. You hitting her,
So you hear that, Aaron or Ruth? It's like, if you guys are getting a fight with William, he says it's fair game.
No, I'm gonna walk away.
kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk away. We used to tell people that all the time when we were dealing with when the army issues were like, you do what you need to do to get out of the situation. Deal with the aftermath later on. Get out of that house. Get out of that situation. And even if it's your house, get out of the situation, because when the cops show up, 9 times out of 10, regardless of who the aggressor is, you're the one going. So get out of the situation. Let the situation de-escalate itself, unless you're in a life-threatening situation. But generally, that's usually just not the case. It's just some people just can't control their,
Yeah, Spidey and Anthony have a couple of them. Let me pull up here. William, Fourth Amendment is privacy and protection. No, that's the Fifth. That's why they say plead the Fifth. That's Seventh is amendment's due process. Yeah.
Generally, okay, but if you file when you file a motion for mistrials and everything else, they're always going to use the Fourth Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment and the Seventh, they're all due process. They both are due process, and there's a couple other different amendments that are all part of due process, and if you violate any of them, you could have a mistrial. But plain and simple, he has a right to his day in court. Like I always say, serial killers who pretty much say they did it get due process. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker from Southern California, as he was being arrested after they beat the hell out of him.
Oh, I know he was right. Yes, Fifth. Yeah, okay, that's my mistake. I mixed those up.
Yeah, the Richard Ramirez was terrified Southern California, and for the summer of 1985, he did the one thing that he shouldn't have done. He went to East LA and he tried to steal a car, and he beat the shit out of him. The cops had to rescue Richard Ramirez, but Richard Ramirez pretty much was telling you, "Hail Satan, I did it. Why I did it. Here's the book." But he pled not guilty. So even Richard Ramirez, who pretty much, come on. If he gets due process, then everybody gets it. Everybody gets it, no matter how bad it looks in the media. Everybody gets their day in court. And so, like I said, Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, gets his day in court. And the rest of these guys, too. Kevin Spacey, no matter who it is, they get their day in court.
And Anthony, I think Anthony, you had one from here. Perfect example, what you're saying is, well, no, yeah, we already talked about a little bit, but no, yeah, his death. Yeah, well, his death, if anything, made him more popular.
Yeah, because you weren't getting any more music.
Yeah. And then the accusation again. Michael Jackson, as William said, it's like whatever, wherever whether you thought he did it or not, it's like it's
irrelevant, because you know what, he was never found guilty in a court of law. Whether you like that outcome or not, that is our system. He was never. Well, he settled this. That is what our system allowed for. That is what our system allowed, because you know what? If Brad were to come to me and say, William fondled me, when I was a kid, and I would have sued. All right. But if we go to court and Brad takes a bunch of money and it never gets to that, it never gets to a jury of peers, anything like that. It never gets to a conviction, anything like that. The system allows for that. Now, Brad could be full of shit. Let's say Brad is lying.
Well, and that's, you factor in, like, if William is like, if he has like the kind of money Michael Jackson has, and he's like at that level celebrity wise, it's like, it's not unreasonable to think I could be just a gold digger. Yeah,
it's nothing to it. But here's the thing. Do I want to drag my name? Do I want to go through this?
Yes, exactly.
My name. Do I want to get in the mud with you when if I get a no conviction or a settlement, all I got to do is say, you know what? He's lying, but by the time I prove this guy, now they may open up the door to other people, but most of the times, you have to have evidence. But I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to create a gray area where my adoring public can exist for the rest of my life and after. And to me, that's the same as not guilty. Even if I didn't do it, it's like, okay, what's a trial? What's me going to trial going to do for me if I'm Michael Jackson? Because we're going to see some other shit that has nothing to do with anything that I don't want out there. Because when you go to trial, everything becomes evidence. And then a judge rules on what parts of your aspects of your life are relevant to whatever those accusations. And some people just don't want to go through that. But they also put a gag order on that person too. That person has to shut the fuck up, for the rest of their life. Even after Michael Jackson's dead, I'm pretty sure the estate will be like, because now he can't defend himself. So there are people who settle out of court that are sometimes not guilty. But if I'm a billionaire giving you 15 million, giving you 20 million,
well, and it's like William says, he's like, you're weighing your options there. It's like, do I want this to drag through the mud, and that can like sully my public image, even if I am exonerated, or do I just say, okay, this is I can't make this go away other than to basically say, okay, let's settle, let's give them whatever whatever settlement money they're asking for, and it just go on. And that's pretty much Michael Jackson. I forget who it was that was interviewing him. It was Martin Bashir, I think it was, and that was what he had said at the time about his. That's why he settled. He said, yeah, I don't want this to be like run the length of the OJ trials, just get this over with and let me go on with my life. Whether you think that means he's guilty or not is that's up for everybody to decide individually.
And Michael Jackson knows his fan base was never going to leave him over that. There are people who are already critical of Michael Jackson, but like I said, they were already going to be critical no matter what. He knew that once he got this done with, and look what happened after that settlement. He went on about his deal. He was literally about to go on a sold-out world tour when he accidentally killed himself. There's
a guy I knew in college who had tickets for This Is It. So,
and that wouldn't have been it, by the way, because just so much money in the stadium tour because you get the lion's share of the money. See, when you're doing record sales, the record company makes off like a bandit unless you're like your own mogul. But when it's concert tours, man, those guys get the merchandise sales. They get a percentage of all kinds of stuff. They get the highest percentage. That's why a lot of these bands like to go. They like to tour because, like I said, the record company gets a lot of that money. But when it's touring, it's them.
Well, yeah. What does William say about math?
Yeah, Matt is undefeated, man.
Anthony had one here. William, I'm not sure if you guys agree with this. I was talking to a friend recently. We were talking about DC and Marvel. If they did a hypothetical cross right there, I know you lost William.
Yeah, we're done.
I said Bruce and Steve would have worked. I think it sent me 2 comments.
I never want to see that again, by the way. And I hope the companies don't become so desperate. If you see Marvel versus DC, something really bad has happened behind the scenes.
You doing cornhole, Leo? Okay. Yeah, all because I knocked my headset off while I was trying to do that. Yeah. Oh,
I missed that.
So you stepped away at the time because we were just talking about you, somebody energy. Michelangelo, pretty good as reading my comments. Yes. Thank you for letting us know, Droga. I mean, Michelangelo. Not sure why I'm assuming it's definitely you, even though it obviously is. Vince says Marvel versus DC worth in a game. No. I think you're mixing that up. It's like that was
Marvel versus Capcom, wasn't it?
It was Marvel versus Capcom. And there was Mortal Kombat versus DC. So video game wise, that's
yeah.
Now video. Okay. So that's when you were talking about like comics wise and cinematically in TV.
Yeah, I never want to see it. I don't care.
What would you? What like? How about a Marvel? But like just like a one-off kind of video game. Like would you?
That's fine. That's fine. The only reason why they did the amalgam in Marvel vs. DC is because, like I always tell you, for a lot of you guys who either weren't there or were too young to remember, it wasn't a good time for comic books. I still had a lot of fun because it was my first year's open, but we were dealing with the aftermath of saturation of stories like, oh well, let me guess, Death of Superman. Clone War, clonage, and all every.
By the way, real quick, interject that we're seeing a Death of Superman on Superman Lois season 4 coming out very soon.
Yeah. And by the way, Scott, now I remember Scott McClellan. Like, well, it's a popular story. Here's a newsflash, guys. Write more popular stories. You have other things. You could make another story popular by writing a good story. You're basically indicting and insulting your audience and yourselves by saying that, because if you're saying that, well, we want to go back to because of popular stories. What the fuck have you been doing since 1993 or any other era like that? Writing non-popular ones? You can't come up with some original shit. So, by the way, it's what you guys get paid for. It's not like you're doing it for free. I understand it's a popular story. That's the only popular story that a bunch of pigeons with one breadcrumb are saying, we all got to get out of this one breadcrumb because this is tasty bread. No. You guys are talented individuals that can write new stories. So do it. But anyway, when the mid-90s, it was a desperate time. It was a desperate time. They were doing a whole bunch of stupid shit just to stay alive. Heroes Reborn, remember that? I don't. For those of you guys, Marvel versus DC. A lot of what they were doing, unfortunately, was because the market was dead. The market was so oversaturated. The collectors had left because every collector had to fend off everybody with a black bag Superman 75 with a bloody Superman. Like I said, I still got a bunch of those. I still get it at least twice a month. Twice a month when people come in and buy the comic, I go flipping through there too because I know it's there. I know it's there. And sure enough, I get the 2, 3, 4, 5. How many fucking copies of this do you have? Oh, I bought a bunch of them back in the day and I thought it was going to be worth something. And here you are with it here, and it's worth nothing. And same thing with Spider-Man did. Venom, all the stuff like that. Yeah, Venom was popular, but here's the thing: you geared all your resources to that, and the Spider-Man storytelling suffered. I mean, so yeah, you won't. I don't think you'll see a Marvel versus DC unless they run themselves and they both run themselves into the ground and just basically throw up their hand and say, we don't have any more ideas. So hopefully that's never. And by the way, Superman has more than why are we pulling this?
Because I felt like it.
Why are we pulling this up?
Because I can't wait to see it.
So you get a chance after CW pretty much waste the DC IP with a bunch of C-list characters that nobody watched. You get an A-lister. You get an A-lister with 8.5 decades worth of villains and storytelling. You're collecting a paycheck. Someone is paying you. You're not doing volunteer work. You're getting paid to come up with an engaging idea. Why didn't I just hire Dan Jurgens to write for CW then, and just be the showrunner? This is the kind of lack, and a lot of it is because, be honest with you, the imagination of the fans, this kind of stuff shrunk the brains of the fans. The fans, after this kind of shit, their expectations were low, and the industry shrunk with them, which is not good. This is not something you really should be celebrating.
Anyway, October 7th, guys.
No, it's the same thing with Venom. It's the same thing with Venom. You got decades worth of rogues galleries with Venom that are not, or with Spider-Man that you have not even remotely touched. And I've seen Venom more than I've seen fucking Spider-Man in the movies half the time. So when you set the expectations there, that's where the fans go. And then you're wondering why sales are where they are. Well, when you guys, whose responsibility is to come up with new, fresh ideas to stimulate readership, come up with the same shit that you've been doing since 1992, who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy that but speculator people who sit in front of the TV and say, ooh, wow, that's not your audience. So, yeah.
I'm trying to look up what you shared here, Vince. Yeah, because this is news to me. Like, Marvel versus DC Revolution. Is this like an offshoot of Injustice? Oh.
I'm not a gamer, so I'm going to let you guys have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, has this been released yet? Because this completely flew under my radar. Okay, I'll look this up, man. Thank you for letting me know, Vince. Anyway, what else you guys got for us? Larry's got a super chat. Rad, forget everything William just said. We will get Cyborg, Superman live. maybe they have hinted to there's going to be a character on the show. I forget, it was one of the producers that they're going to have a character on this season who they've wanted to have, but they just has not been on the show yet previously. They're not revealing who that is. I mean, that could be it because I mean he's a Death of Superman related character. By the way, the newest trailer, like I said, I'm telling you, I am telling you what they do in the Jordan in this latest trailer. He's wearing like a black he's wearing a black suit with a mask and not.
I don't know if I'm going to be diving into this season.
Well, it doesn't matter because I am. So we'll be hearing about it in Sci-Fi Star one way or another.
I'm going to stick to some actual Superman stories.
I'm telling you, I am telling you guys right now. Like you can, I mean, the show. We're going to see Jordan at the end of the show. He's going to have that S shield with the black jacket and the one on the back and that pierced ear and tactile telekinesis. He is going to be our Superboy.
Hey, and you know what? Maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel with this, because this worthless story may lead some of you speculator buyers to come buy some of the worthless shit that we've been sitting on for 30 years. You can come get it at a decent price. And like I said, it's just a damn shame we have these characters, and this is the best we can do as far as storytelling goes.
Aaron says we already. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was on Supergirl. Yeah. Well, there's also because I was thinking when they made that comment that it might be General Zod there.
I'm glad they didn't touch Zod because I don't want to see.
They've name dropped him. He's on season 1, so he hasn't physically appeared on the show.
I highly doubt anything coming from CW, including Superman and Lois, can touch the level that Zod would need to be in order to be compelling.
They've already done Steel, Superboy. Well, that's another thing, by the way. It's like I am hoping by the end he is in a flying steel suit, but I do hope now it's tricky to pull this off, like with the metal helmet trying to like match your facial expressions. So, but I am hoping like he'll be at the end, like have the red cape and have the shield with made out of the bolts on it by the end. But they had Steel, Superboy, Eradicator. Why not have Cyborg suits while Cal is dead, so Tyler can still be in it? Well, and they have said he's still going to be in every episode this season. So that I was assuming when they said that meant that'd be like flashbacks or something of that nature. And the trailer does show it's like he's it does show his body like being put in like the regeneration chamber in the Fortress of Solitude. So that's one way it might be happening. Yeah, it could be Cyborg Superman. He's played. They might do stuff with Bizarro because he's also he plays Bizarro on the show, who eventually becomes Doomsday.
Which is fucking dumb. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was stupid. That's what that show was like. You know what?
No, I like. No.
A fair chance.
No.
I'm like,
that was a no.
You guys need to open up a new bottle of imagination, because the one you're drinking out of.
They took a twist. They did a twist. They did a twist. It was teased as Doomsday at first. Clearly teased as Doomsday at first with the containment suit and all that. Then they did a twist. It's like, no, it's Bizarro. Then they took that twist and twisted it again. Said, no, he really does. We were teasing Doomsday at first.
Give these guys the key to the idea room, because they are on the outside. They are not in there right now.
This season's going to be so awesome. And guys, I'm going to be such an asshole on here gloating about it to William.
So I don't give a fuck about this show, other than you guys getting your ending. Notwithstanding the quality of the show and the lack of imagination when it comes to the storytelling.
Can we play that clip? Can we actually play that?
No, we cannot.
Yes, we can. We just won't play the soundtrack. I did with Gondapath last night with the trailer. And I kept
nobody knows what I have trackers on here. Come on, I don't want. I'm not getting kicked. I'm not getting kicked off for Superman and Lois.
Which, by the way, it's like I think I've clearly set our audience on like, what's Brad talking about this Gondapath thing? So they obviously want to do a watch party when the time comes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that ain't.
Dystopian future with sci-fi elements, so it counts.
Yeah, it has to be good. No, we're good. We're moving in the direction of quality as much as we can.
This is phenomenal quality.
Yeah, okay,
Michael.
Sure. That's why we can't even find it. You can't even fucking find it. You told me it's close.
It'll be out there eventually. Michael Shannon played the list. Well, that's why you said sometimes this stuff from overseas just takes an eternity. Yes, he did play he's my favorite live action Zod. I think he's phenomenal.
Like I said, there's just so many stories I think told, and we keep going back to the same tired.
I think they've done. How many times they've done Doomsday in live action? See BVS, and by the way, you have to since it's like a kind of a 2-part thing, we're going to count them together. BVS/DSJL, that's 1. Superman Lois, that's 2.
We're already at 2.
And that's it.
We've done it in Krypton.
They didn't do Death Superman on Krypton. They didn't do Death Superman on Superman and Lois.
You didn't need to do it at all. It is not the only.
So So anyway, Superman and Lois season 4 is gonna be awesome. There you go.
I mean, I'm sorry that you guys weren't there when that story pretty much played a good part in shitting on my industry. I'm sorry that you guys have revisionist history and you think it's all good now. You know what? Try owning a store every week. Hey man, you're never gonna believe what happened in this bag. Let me guess what you got in the damn bag.
Is the Sci-Fi Center still in business? And you said you alluded to it's like
but there's a lot of other places that went out because of
so
that doesn't excuse you people for not having an imagination.
So that means that the Death Superman actually helped you economically. Checkmate. You owe the success of the Sci-Fi Center to the Death Superman.
Once again, you guys get paid to do better than this. Do better than this. I never want to see this fucking storyline in the Superman motion anything again. I don't want to see it in another cartoon. I don't want to see it I damn sure don't ever want to see it in a movie again. In fact, given the fact that we've already done it too many times, we're done. Find another Superman story to replicate if you want, or adapt if you want to do that. There are more than one. I'm gonna clue you in. There's more than one. So, by the way, Spider-Man, newsflash, has other members in his rogue gallery. You might want to give it a try. That are way better than the one you keep shoving up our ass and down our throat since his inception. So, yeah. People talk about comic book fatigue. I'm like, no, it's not. The idea, regurgitated and retreaded idea of fatigue is what I got. And what else we got in here? And Scott Snyder, I know you're fucking around with this. I'm telling you, dude. You don't have a bigger champion right now for Absolute DC than me. I don't want to see this story again, dude. I don't need to relive your guys' childhood for shit I'm paying for. If Death of Superman felt good to you, we got wherever it's streaming, go find it. You got the physical media, go buy it. I don't need to relive your favorite Superman stories. If you're going to buy and sell something to yourself, that's fine. But this is for public consumption. Just come up with some new ideas. I don't know how Scott Snyder's going to do it. I know he's hinted around it. But given his approach to things, I don't think it's going to be the tired shit that you have to kill Superman. And I can see it right now. 10 years from now, we're going to be wondering why. Well, we don't have any original ideas because you keep doing the same shit over and over again. The same shit over and over again. I don't know. I was smart enough not to overorder. First of all, I was just beginning. I didn't have the kind of cash to overorder on that. But I watched a lot of guys, try to meet the demand and meet the pre-solicitations. So, yeah. Like I said.
New topic, guys. We've been beating this dead horse.
Well, the story is a dead horse. The story is a dead horse. Do better.
Let's see what you guys got. Anyway, can't wait for the show, though.
You have fun with it.
Question is, what is Brad smoking me stuff? I'm smoking about the fact that I saw an awesome Bollywood martial arts flick theatrically last year, and they won't put it on home media or streaming.
Why? You gotta ask yourself why.
Yeah, because it's rad, and my boy Tiger's in it.
People don't circulate things because they're rad. That doesn't come on.
Yeah, it is. And you guys are going to realize that when we do that watch party.
You tell me after every time there's going to be this new awakening every time.
Oh, there will be. Trust me. There will be. Let me see. I think we had another super chat up here. And she's restocking the new Ultimate Universe comics, either solo or team up for the.
Yes. Yes. They are some of the best selling things I have. Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate
Ultimate Spider-Man are doing well, and they reprint the variants and they shorten the run on the variants so that your variant reprintings are not just worthless like they used to be back in the day. You actually have a collector's item in there, so I'm doing very well with the Ultimate stuff. Said you had another super chat.
No, I know. I think we did get both of them. Yeah, we got both those. Wasn't yes, he was on Supergirl. Henshaw was on Supergirl.
So what?
Yeah. You know, by the way, it's like, if William wants to hear me talk, you criticize or talk on a CW show I like, or like talk about like here's one thing I will take Smallville to task for, because of course the premise is it's Superman in his younger years before he's Superman, and I'm telling so they create a lot of situations where nobody. Well, the Superman persona doesn't exist, but he still has powers and he's still, saving people.
You talking about Smallville?
Yeah, but so they create a lot of situations where, people don't know, he's an alien or don't know about his powers. So there's a lot of situations where he has to save somebody, but he has to fight a villain, but he has to use his powers without them seeing him use his powers. So they create. I swear, the characters on Smallville are the most knockoutable fictional characters of all time, because there's so many situations on the show where he has to like rescue Lois or Jimmy or Pete Ross or Chloe or somebody, and they're kidnapped by a villain. And what happens is like they'll get knocked out, so he can use his powers to defeat the villain without them seeing him. And then they come to you and it's like, oh, Clark just like was in the right place at the right time. So
yeah, and it's stupid. It's stupid. There are so many reasons why that show is trash. That was one of them. That's just fucking lame. You're basically writing around your own bad idea. You have a bad idea that is the premise of your show. Now you have to write even dumber around that. The premise sucked from day one. And how the fuck did a guy who hasn't even been Superman yet, and by the way, him being Superman in Metropolis attracts a lot of his rogue villains coming after him, but he gets people that come on. How can anybody look at me with a straight face and say so-and-so is in fucking Smallville right now? Without me laughing at you.
So-and-so is in fucking Smallville right now.
Without me laughing at you, which, like I said,
you didn't laugh right there. I just said it.
Because I got 20 years of laughter out. Smoke side. What the hell was that?
Well, again, like I said, like I said, if James Gunn does do this, where it's like the idea of the New Gods like not having multiverse doppelgangers, and there's one dark side, there's one Desaad, Granny Goodness, Calabac. There's only one. If he's using that dark side we saw in Snyder Cut, that means canonically,
I can hate something if it's not good, because you know what? There's a lot of low budget shit around that is good. I can hate it if it's bad, and if it's a stupid premise. I can hate it. It could be the budget notwithstanding. If it's bad, I can hate it. That shit. No, we do not. We do not need any more of this.
Well, by the way, there's something else I said the other night. I think you'd stepped away. Because it's not enough to ruin the movie for me. But one thing that I kind of rolled my eyes a bit at the theater when first time I saw BVS was when Doomsday is first like rampaging, and all the news reporters are going, this monster has come out of the ship and he's rampaging through Metropolis. But don't worry, the workday's over. Everybody went home already, so we're okay. Or when he lands on Stryker's Island, he lands on Stryker's Island, and the army guys say he just landed.
That's not even Doomsday, by the way. That's not Doomsday.
But it's the okay. We got to pay lip service to everybody freaking out about the destruction of Man of Steel. So they say it like 3 times. Oh, that's uninhabited. Oh, it's like I came here to get the spear. The place is uninhabited. Oh, the workday's over. Like the city's deserted. It's like, oh, okay. So,
what's the news every day? Indiscriminate violence happening and people die. I'm not sure if you agree with this, William. I probably won't. But I think characters like Zod, Superboy, and Cyborg Superboy work better in the new Supergirl movie than James Gunn Superman. Well, I can't even answer that because I haven't seen his. These characters can work in the proper format, the proper setting. That is not where you've seen them, unfortunately, when it comes to CW. So no, yeah. And like I said, the low budget, How do you hire people good enough to write these shows and stay on with you for a while? You got to pay them, and if you don't have a budget, those people move on to other things, or they never even come to you in the first place. Fourth, how many people? Everybody wants me to go back to their last comment. You realize this is scrolling, guys? Was it fourth? Oh no, I already answered it. Stop doing that, guys. Please stop doing that. I can't, because I'm going back and reading stuff we've already read. I'm trying to go in order. I don't do the arrows pointing up to your comment. I'm trying to get to them because that throws me off. I end up skipping other people's comments trying to look for yours. Stop that. Okay, Quince. Cracking jokes. It's a joke. Powerpuff. No, okay, you guys are talking Powerpuff Girls, so we're done there. Something like that. Like I said, that will never be covered in this channel, as far as I know. Let's see. What do we have? Nothing else happened today other than football.
Yeah.
Anybody's a football fan?
I think one other watch party. Well, we're after this Saturday. We're in October, so is this when we want to start doing?
Yeah, we're gonna start doing some
kind of more Halloween or horror oriented watch parties.
Probably on Fridays, like Friday nights. We can do some in the afternoon too, but it all depends on, because October's a big month for me on a bunch of different levels. So I'm gonna try to fit them in. I may not be present for all of them, but I'm gonna, I don't want me not being present for some of these, not to stop it from happening. Because October.
So if you're not here, does that mean I can do one for VHS?
I'm going to show pre-designated movies that we talk about and agree on. Yeah, we're not.
If you're not here, can we watch VHS? The next one.
Yeah. Listen. I just don't think they're very good movies. I mean, I know people love them. I'm just not a big fan of that style. I'm not a big fan of that POV. I don't like it. So that really stems my enjoyment of things like that.
We got any other?
Did you guys watch it?
Well, it's like I'm trying to think like what as far as like the Halloween season, like anything scary.
Oh, I know American Werewolf in London. You got Fright Night. You have
like
I know the new Salem's Lot comes out soon.
Well, because like I said, it's just this year. I wonder if it's true for anybody else. Like, let me know. It's like I just feel like my personal theater attendance just decreased by about a third. So, and again, that wasn't like a conscious decision. It's just like a lot of it's just the evolving nature of the theater landscape. So I'm kind of wondering right now. I'm looking it up right now. Like, what do we got coming up in October? That's again, like William said, Salem's Lot's coming up. Oh, that's on HBO Max.
Yeah, so we can definitely.
What else we got? What's VHS is also, but that's going to be on. That's a streaming one. That's going to be on Shudder. The big one definitely is Ruth's Terrifier 3. So she definitely is like going to want to hear at least my thoughts on it. Smile too. Wait, I know Williams. He's not down for.
No, I was let down by the first one. I had the intensity to be everything that it was advertised, and that ending was kind of lame. Now maybe this sequel will close the gap, and which I should have gotten the first movie. I'll give it a shot. I'm just not. My expectations are low. We'll probably promote them.
We got some kind of horror movie coming in October here.
Yeah, we that's 90 minutes. We'll endure. That's fine.
Why are we watching that again? Remind me.
He donated, and his birthday's in October. So
why do you want to watch that again, Clint? I can't get my head around that.
Clint likes watching others suffer. So, but see, I'm not like you. I'm not going to be like.
You were you were going to town the whole time.
Oh no, but I watched it and I'm like, I didn't mind showing it. I don't mind showing it again. You're like, no, we're not doing it.
I know, and you would like for a long time prior to that talked about your disdain for that. So
yeah, I will always have disdain for it because it's a wretched movie and it really fucked up a lot of careers.
Yeah, well, like you said, like some people are like in witness protection because of how bad it was.
But hey, he dropped a heavy super chat to show it. And it's a comic book movie. It's not a good one, but we've watched a lot of comic book movies that aren't good. So
yeah. We watched other ones that aren't good too, but I'm not going to name them again because you guys want to watch them again. I'm not doing that. Breaking news: Taika Waititi. What is he doing next? Actually, because apparently, I think it's probably safe to say he's not doing any more Thor, and There's that whole, there's kind of like a lot of back and forth on whether or not that Star Wars he was announced for is moving ahead. So
It's funny because those movies made money, but they just weren't good.
yeah, well, what we were talking about during Twilight of the Gods, like our rankings with the Thor movies. I actually put Ragnarok. I think it is. I rank that. And I say that when I say that, it's like I'm not saying that I think it's like I don't think any of them, other than maybe the first one, I think any of them are technically good. Because Thor, I think probably is fair to say. I think he's the most of all the like main MCU characters, definitely among all the Avengers. He's not the one I think has been the most inconsistent throughout the whole franchise.
Your Mac's still jammed. What happened? We did most of them. We haven't done some of the other ones, but we did the good ones, the really good ones. We did Arrival. We did Blade Runner 2049.
We did we haven't done watch parties on. We have discussed the Dune movies on here.
Yeah, I mean we could do Dune's long. Those are long, but they're recent too. So
yeah, but what was I saying? Yeah, with Thor, like I said, I think of the core MCU heroes, he's the one who's definitely his portrayal or his trajectory has definitely been the most inconsistent. But Ragnarok, that's why I put it like it's the one of them. It's a movie I should hate. It really is a movie I should hate. But it's the one out of all his solo movies where I feel like it's like he feels the most fully realized, I think, out of all of them. So even though like the first one, like quality wise, I think is better. I think in terms of just like the where it centers the character, I think probably.
Where's this? Oh, Thor.
Yeah, with the ranking the Thor movies. Now, as far as like his overall portrayal in the franchise, I would say Infinity War and Endgame are his best arc or his best story.
Big Lebowski Thor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but again, it's like it wasn't. It's not farcical in the way that Thor: Love and Thunder is.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, but he's like Spidey was saying, it's like he's dealing with, he's taking so much failure on himself with that because when he says like I should have gone for the head. I could have gone for the head. I chopped his head off too late. Half the universe turned to dust because I didn't do that. So he falls into just the depression to end all depressions. So it's like it's played for laughs, and it got a huge gasp in my audience first time I saw Endgame when they saw him how much he let himself go, but it served a purpose. In a way that just like a lot of the humor they've given him just really hasn't. It's just been a lot of just Thor just slipping on banana peels and and just a lot of goofiness. It just like what William called buffoonery basically with Thor. I mean, the Love and Thunder, that's the one where I say he's basically Fred Flintstone with the lightning hammer. So that's where that really faltered, and who knows if we are going to see any further Thor in the MCU. I kind of at the point where I'm kind of Thored out. This Thor in Twilight of the Gods, that was very refreshing for me, even because he was so different. He's still, brought his Asgardian god power to the story, and of course there's a twist at the end where he realizes, without getting too much of the spoilers or anyone hasn't seen it, he and the protagonist, who have been at odds for so much of the show, realize they have a common enemy. So that's why this Thor. It's like I'm more interested in following at this point, and hopefully get news about a season 2 fairly soon here of Twilight of the Gods. Yeah, that's my spiel on Thor there. Every Thor movie sucks, especially the last two. Well, the last one especially. I don't think I was on the channel, but I wouldn't have been on the channel at that point. I wouldn't have started streaming at all. That was before I started my streaming life when Love and Thunder came out. But yeah, pretty bad. Were you? Was that still when you were kind of crossover with Point Xer Lounge?
I think so.
Okay. Did you have like that night or like that weekend? Did you guys have like a meet up and like give our thoughts on Love and Thunder, or like what was?
Oh, I did. I thought it was awful. I
did too.
Minutes of Russell Crowe that I've ever seen.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, we'll see. Where Craven, what kind of Craven the Hunter does with them in a couple months here, but I don't think. I mean,
it was much better than that. You have to try to be that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Biases aside, I think probably you ask the average person, they would say, yeah, Man of Steel and his voice cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League, those are his best comic book movie roles so far by a long shot.
I'm 4. So, like I said, I have a lot of high hopes for Craven. I know a lot of people who just
that's like
use a quarter of their brain to shit on everything Sony. But I think it's going to be
I'm going into it with the mindset of this is what I'm going to get. A whole lot of this, just cutting through people.
Yeah, and hunting and animals and stuff. So.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think it'll be another Madam Web. I don't think I think you have to try to be Madam Web bad too.
Well, like I said, the different writers, different people on them. One of the things that they have to do is they have to decide that they're going to tell their own Spider-Man stories. And stop waiting for Marvel to you have 2 other ones. The people who say will fight. I saw somebody post that Feige has control of the Spider-Man movies, and I typed them back, and I rarely do this. I'm like, guys, reading is fundamental. Don't type stupid shit that you don't know, because nobody knows the intricacies of those deals. But what we do know is this, and this is undisputed. All Spider-Man films are Sony's films. They do have the final say of what happens to the character. Kevin Feige can draw up a script and everything else. When he turns it into them, they have final say. They are in control. They are Sony movies. All Spider-Man movies are Sony movies. They flip the switch and they flip it off. They have to agree to everything that happens to that character cinematically. So when I see, Kevin Feige's not going to let them do this and do that, Kevin Feige doesn't have a choice. Marvel Studios and Disney do not own that IP. The distributor, the owner of the IP, is always going to have the final say, and they're never going to sign that over into a deal. Now they may have signed deals that were like, we're going to continue this and we're going to do this or that, but Sony would have anything that comes out of whatever negotiation. Sony is going to maintain that control because it's their IP, it's their movie, and they're the ones producing it. So,
we got one more super chat, I think, for you, because I think we're kind of ready to wrap up for the night. William, when we start the Crohn's charity, I'll remind you / possibly pay again for my watch party requests.
Okay. We got to probably. When do you want to do that, Larry? Do you have a ballpark figure when you want to?
Crohn's peeps. Crohn's charity. Right? What is that exactly?
He has a charity. He wants to do a fundraiser for Crohn's disease.
Okay. I was thinking. I thought this is not really like David Cronenberg, is it? No, I'm not. No, I'm serious. I'm not being. I thought he was like wanting to do Cronenberg movies.
Although we probably should do some of his. I'm not doing Scanners. I can't watch that guy's head. I've been watching that guy's head explode all my life because that's the only thing everybody ever shows. Even in the preview of Scanners, it's the guy's head. Everything that you see in Scanners is that same dude's head blowing up, and I'm like, there's more to the movie than that, by the way, but I just can't watch that head.
No, I can't watch Fly again.
Oh yeah,
that is like I said, that's body horror on top of body horror.
I'm getting better, and he's picking his ears off.
Oh no, the final transformation is like when he rips his jaw off and he turns into the. Yes, guys, I know it's a disease. Okay, I honestly thought he was this is linked to David Cronenberg somehow.
Currently, yeah. Hulk and Namor. Oh no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Hulk and Namor are owned by Universal, but they're not doing anything with them. Marvel doesn't buy those characters back because they're not worth what they would be asking for them, because there's nothing that they've done with the Hulk that they didn't want to do with the Avengers. And as long as he's in a group movie or an ensemble cast, you can use both those characters. Same thing with Namor. Namor was one of the ones that Universal picked up.
It's been crickets on Namor ever since Wakanda Forever came out. Yeah. I don't know if they have any plans for him at all at this point.
I think you'll see him coming up. I just wish they would have. Like I said, I think that guy's performance was harmed by the lack of a T'Challa in the movie.
Yeah. Well, the whole movie was, and it's. It really just kind of came and went, which this definitely was not the case for the first Black Panther.
It made a crap ton of money. It didn't make $1 billion, but not every sequel has to. I think that it just, like I said, I think the movie did fine for what it was. I just didn't like what it was. It was a memorial, not a movie.
Yeah. So, but if you guys got anything else for us, I think it was probably a good place to wrap up for the evening.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for a good week. Thanks for a fun week. For all of you guys who made us um, in the 100,000 crew. Like I said, we're averaging. Like I said, we have a good average going on. I gotta figure out, like I said, YouTube wants to demonetize all our videos half the time, but I'll fix that. But other than that, like I said, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you go. We are off tomorrow.
Yep.
Off tomorrow. I can't imagine anything happening tomorrow that I would need to be like breaking news or couldn't wait till Tuesday. So we will see you Tuesday night.
Yes, and like Ruth says, Straw, guys. Straw is now officially part of the.
No, it is not officially.
It's part. No, it is part of the. Art the Clown has sanctioned Straw, so now it's like we got to keep this rolling.
Well, then he can put it in one of his movies.
The Straw must flow, guys.